Hi guys, welcome back. Let's discuss CAT 2024 slot 2 set number 4. This looks to be a pure DI based question. Let's read the information. The two plots below given the following information about 6 forms, that is A, B, C, D, E and F for 2019 and 2023. Three type of data that has been given to us. PAT is the firm's profit after tax in rupees that I can see in y-axis. So we can clearly see in the y-axis, you can see the PAT value. ES is the firm's employee strength, that is number of employee in the firm, that I can see x-axis. PRD, now that's an interesting point, the percentage of the firm's PAT that they spend on R&D. So what percentage of your profit after taxes spending on R&D is given by PRD? Now where this figure has been given, that is what you have to understand. In the plot, the horizontal and vertical coordinate a point representing each firm give their ES and PAT value respectively, that we know. The PRD values of each firm are proportional to the area around the point representing. So you have to calculate this particular area and your percentage will be proportionate to this. And the areas are comparable between the two plots. So you can take that same scale as been used. So now that's an interesting way to give this PRD. So what I'll do is I'll assume this particular diameter to 1 unit. And based on this, maybe I can say this is 1 unit. So accordingly, I can look at the size of those circle, like this might look like 2 unit, this might look like 3 unit, 2.5, this looks like 3 unit. So similarly, we can compare. So I think not much. Now we can directly go to the questions. So let's look at the first question. Assume that the annual rate of growth in PAT over the previous year remain constant over the year. Constant means like simple interest. So like every year you are growing at a constant rate for each of the 6 forms. Then which among the form A, B, C and D at the highest ARG? So first thing is we can calculate the direct percentage change between the PAT from 19 to 23, and whichever percentage change will the highest will have higher average also in terms of annual rate of growth. So for form A, let us try to calculate. We have to calculate the percentage change in PAT. So firm A is here, and you can say PAT of firm A in 2019 is 3000, and that is increased to 3900. So you have a percentage change of 900 divided by 3000 into 100. We may not calculate exact value, we'll just compare. Now calculate for firm C. C has 2400 and here it is 3000. So that's an increase of 600 divided by 2400 into 100. Over a base of 2400, it has grown to 3000, right? So let's calculate for firm E also. E is starting from 2400 and gone up to how much? 3500. So that's a growth of 1100 divided by 2400 into 100. Till now, I could see this is the highest possible value. And let us talk about firm B. B starts from 2800 and goes to 3800. That's a change of 1000 over a base of 2800. Now you can clearly say between C and D, E is going to be bigger value because its numerator is less, though denominator is same. Now between E and B, you can clearly say numerator is bigger, denominator is smaller, the E is going to be bigger value. And if you compare A and D, E is again bigger value. So for us, the answer for this question is going to be option number C. So it's a question based on percentage change. Let's move to the next question. The ratio of the amount of money spent by firm C on R&D in 2019 to that in 2023. So we have to calculate R&D amount. So R&D amount, to calculate that, you have to figure out how much percentage of PAT you are spending. So now let's look at the firm C. I think this circle looks to me almost, if I take this to be 1 unit, this is 1, 2 and 3, possibly 3 units. So I would say pi into 3 into 3, pi r square will be the area, and this will be multiplied of how much is the PAT? 2400. So this will be the amount maybe divided by 100. So that is the percentage value that you spent is 2. Now see in 2000, now this looks to be 2 units. So maybe I would say pi into 2 into 2 into how much is 3000 divided by 100. So now you just simplify it. And let's cancel this. And we can say 3 8 ja, 3 10 ja, right? So this becomes 9 into 8 is to 4 into 10. Now 4 2 ja and 2 5 ja. So I think correct answer will become 9 is to 5. So you have to simply calculate the ratio. The only thing is we have to, these areas are comparable. I can say this looks almost 1.5 times. If you take this to be 1 unit, this is 1.5. So that's why I've taken 2 and 3. So if the unit is 2 is to 3, the area will become 4 is to 9. So that is what we have to understand. And the answer for this will become option number D. Let's move to the next one. Question number 16, let's read this one. Which among the firm ACEF had the maximum PAT per employee in 2023? So I think we can calculate PAT divided by employee. Let's do it for option A is firm E. For E, PAT is going to be 3,500 and number of employee are going to be 1,400. For A, I think PAT is going to be 3,900 and number of employees are going to be 1,300. And then next option is F. For firm F, 3,200 divided by 1,000. And for firm C, it is 3,000 divided by 800. Now it says maximum. So I think we have to figure out which is the maximum value. So this is almost close to 2.5. This is exactly 3. This is 3.2. And this will become, I think, 3.75. So I think this is going to be the highest value. So C will be the correct option. So you can say option D is correct answer. And let's look at the last question of this particular set. Now, what does it say? Which among the firms C, D, E, and F have the least amount of R&D spending per employee in 2023? So I think we'll calculate for firm F. If this is 1 unit for me, this becomes double. That is 2 into pi r square into F's PAT is 3,200 and number of employees is 1,000. For firm D, this is again similar to this. So I can say 2 into pi into this is 2,400 and number of employees is 800. Look at next option C. C again 2 into pi into PAT is 3,000 and the number of employees is 800. And look at E. E is definitely, I think, almost what we say is 3 times or maybe 2.5 times. I would go with 2.5 because there's 2 units, there's 2.5 into 2.5 into pi into what you say is 3,500 divided by 1,400. So we have to figure out which is the lowest value. So I think F, D, and C, the first part is same. So this is 3.2, this is 3, and this will become more than 3. So I think F and C is gone. Now we have to compare between D and D. So D is almost, you can say, 12 pi. And if I calculate E, that is 2.5 into 2.5, this is also 2.5. So I think 6.25, this will be more than 12 pi. So this is higher value. Maybe D is the lowest one. So for this question, option B is the correct answer. That's it. Thank you.